All right, now that I've got the load earnings calculator out for you all to use and download, I wanted to take a quick video to show you guys how to set it up and then really quickly how to select stuff to get it to work. Um, so the earnings sheet, this is where you're going to spend most of your time once you get it set up, because this is where you select the loads and stuff like that. Data lookup, this is where you actually uh, set it up. The only thing you guys need to worry about, are, guys and girls, um, are these orange sections. So there's one, two, three sections that you really need to worry about. Um, this section is for the location type, for the drop down list. If you want to change that, be very careful because as you add more, you can change what's already here, but if you add more, you're going to have to go and change this location type drop down formula. So you just come up here, go to name manager, location drop down type. And you can see here it's through 10. So if you wanted to take it to 12, set that to 12, click OK, and then now it goes out to 12. I'm going to put that back to 10 because that's where we've got it. Okay, so you shouldn't have to worry about that, but it's there just in case you want to change location types. All right, so over here, so this is the load area, so column L through S. What you want to do is in the load name, put a name that you recognize. So if it might be the in-game name, it might be something that you're familiar calling it and you know what that is, but just type that here. So right now I'm just going to call it load 1. Weight, length, and width are in imperial, so pounds and feet. That's just because I did the trailer information here in pounds and feet because that's just what I was familiar with, even though I'm getting more used to the metric system. So let's say 20,000 pounds, you don't need commas or anything like that. I'm going to say it's 10 foot long, 6 foot wide. And then this is where the type of trailer is basically anything from this column here. So you got dollies, schnabels, suspended trailers, perimeters, RGN, flat, rollback, bulk, and box and truck. So put truck if it's like a trailer and the truck hauls it, or if it's like a box and you want to be able to haul it on a truck with a flatbed or whatever, you can do that as well. Just be very careful. Make sure you're spelling them the exact same as you have here. And the reason why I didn't do a drop down is because some loads can use more than one type of trailer, right? So some things that go on a box truck could also go on a rollback or like a equipment trailer. That's what this is for, or a flatbed, or it could go on an RGN. So it could go on multiple ones. So what to do is you just type out the name flat, and then put a comma, and let's say rollback, comma RGN. So let's say that's the 3 types of trailers that they can add on. The column Q is self-loading. So if it's self-loading, type yes. If it needs a crane, type no, or put in no, or Y or N. If you put Y, even if you put information into the crane data, it's not going to calculate that into your earnings. So only if it's a load that requires or cannot load itself will it calculate that. So I'm going to put no, why not? Pickup location, that is, you got 2 options, shop or trans, I forgot, I put this at, I can't remember what I call it, why I call it trans. It's basically transloading, if I remember correctly, transloading. So it's basically going from like ship to uh, uh, truck or truck to train or something like that. So it's transloading. Um, if you select shop, it's only always going to be picked up at the shop unless you've already bought it, and then if you have to move it, it'll go wherever you moved it from. If you select trans, what you can do is once you have your locations in, you can select, or you can take those, whichever ones you want to have as a pickup location for like new equipment, then you will put those here. Okay, and I'll go over that in just a sec. All right, so we're going to keep that as trans, and then location type. This is from that list on the far right hand side. So it basically determines where this load can be used. I know some of them can be used multiple places. If that's the case, put the load in multiple lines and add each one of these. Um, that'll make it work and be able to be used in multiple locations. So here I'm going to put this one as light work. All right, locations. So basically just fill those out. You've got all the way down to 402. From what I'm doing, I'm actually going to have increase that once I finish um, the wind turbine. All right. So then locations. So here you got a location name. So do something that you are going to know where it's at, or if it's like a default location name from a map, or you can take the map PDA and like I do and type in the names for the locations. That way you know where they're at. So this is going to be location 1, location 2, location 3. All right. Once you get all your locations in, then you can select the type of location it is. So some of them will be forestry because it's like a logging camp. Some of them might be demolition for like at a old apartment building or something like that. You've got heavy work, which denotes you got to have bigger equipment for it, or bigger equipment is used for that. Light work, so you might have like a light crane or very light equipment. Um, you got an oil rig, you got quarry, water, wind tower. Um, just keep in mind that if you have loads here that do not have a corresponding location type here, so if you put a location type here that you don't have a corresponding location type here, if you get a trailer that can hold that weight, when you get that load randomly, it's not going to tell you where to pick it up because unless you select shop, then it'll say then you'll have to pick it up the shop, right? But if you wanted to pick it up somewhere else, if you don't have that location type, it's not going to be. Well, you can pick it up, but you won't have anywhere to drop it off. So that's what that's for. So let's say we got light work, heavy work, and light work, right? Um, let me add another 2 loads. So we're going to do 30,000 pounds. Well, that's a lot. 10,000 pounds. This is going to be 15 by 10. Let's say we're only going to do it with the RGN flat, no shop, heavy work. This is going to be 8 by 4, and we can pick it up with all these. No trans light. Okay, there we go. All right, so we got 3 locations, 3 places here, and I'm going to put location 2 and location 3 as pickup locations. All right, that's really all you have to do. Just fill these out with whatever loads you have, and that's all you have to really do for setup. The only last thing you have to do is when you get to the earnings sheet, for however many pickup locations you have, you need to come over to the earnings sheet right here and select that. Okay. Um, then you can select your gaming level. So if it's easy, medium, or hard. So easy will give you 100 multiplier. Medium does 50. Hard gives you 1 for 1, like real life. All right. So next, once you start playing, then you can determine, oh, what do I have? Do I have a truck only? Do I have a van? Do I have a reefer, dump bed, grain trailer? Right now, dump bed and grain, I don't have a way to get loads for those yet. I mean, you can put loads in here with weight. Uh, the sort of, you just have to know the density to be able to figure out, based on the weight, how much of that commodity do I get. Eventually, I want to have it to where you can. It'll say, "Hey, I need you to get 1,000 liters of whatever." Okay. All right. So let's do a 2-axle flatbed. Okay. Because if you look over here, 2-axle flatbed with 3-axle truck, it can do 48,000 pounds if it's a max, or 1,000 pounds at the minimum. Right. And so we select the 2-axle. It shows, silly me, it shows the max capacity and min capacity here. This will become the weight of the load when it's ready. You can select if you want to have an escort up to 5. This shows whether the load is self-loading or not. These are the crane use. So when you're operating the crane, so like setting it up and stuff like that, I recommend going at 15 times speed, just because that's, I mean, you don't have to, but just because that is a more realistic time frame for how long an actual crane would be there. Just because it's a lot easier to use. I mean, granted, it is more difficult to use the cranes I make, but those are a lot simpler than an actual crane. Okay. So once we do that, so look, it's telling us we have to get load 3, need to take it to location 3. We're going to be buying it, and we're going to be picking it up from location 2. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy that, and so you're going to copy this, select down here, and then paste values, right? Because what that'll do is it'll allow this to change. It changed because I pasted. Um, but basically, it'll lock that and keep um, keep the data for you, so it doesn't get wiped out every time. Right. And so you'll do that for every single trailer that you've got or whatever. Then once you run through it, say we went and picked up load 1, we picked it up. We dropped it off at location 3, picked it up at location 3. That's very silly. We picked it up and dropped it off at the same location. So in that case, we did 0.5 miles because we went out to the road and came back. Right. And so here it shows you what the trailer adder, so how much per mile you get for your trailer, how much a multiplier for weight, because this is such a very lightweight thing compared to capacity. The weight multiplier is very low. So lighter loads, you're not going to be making as much money. You got to go farther to make money. But once you start getting bigger trailers that can haul more weight, you'll start noticing that this weight multiplier starts going up, right? Um, and the distance multiplier, it's because it's 0.5. That's exactly what you have there. And so this is what we earn per distance, but then this is what we actually earned after everything is taken into account. So the multipliers and stuff like that. And so I would go in game and say and add $208, right? Um, once we have that down, then you can see that load here. So we did load 1. It is at location 3. Okay. All right. So here we got load 1 again. So if you don't like the load, you can hit F9. So here we've got this load, We've got to go buy it, so we're going to paste it down in there. So we got load 3, location 1, and let's say, so we go in from picking up at 1, going to 3, and say that's 10 miles, right? So now we earn $2,084. So now we need to take this and say it is at location 1. Okay, so now you can hit F9 again, and as you have more loads, you'll notice these changing a little bit more. But I mean, it is completely random based on the trailer and the trailer capacity. Um, so load 3 going from location 1 to location 2, and it wants us to buy another one. So here, load 1, I don't know why it likes location 3 for load 1. You're moving it from location 3 back to location 3, but you're moving it. It's here, load 3, you're picking it up in location 1 because it's at location 1 and moving it. So basically, you can see as you just keep on going, it's fun because it's completely random, and the more loads you have and the more locations, the more varied your stuff will be, and you can get all sorts of. You can select all these different trailers. Granted, not all of them are in game yet, but they will be. But so you can have up to 8 trailers. So this can work for multiplayer as well, or if you want to have, or you can run 2 trailers yourself. But you can have up to 8 people running these. It just helps if somebody says, "Hey, this is your load." Basically, someone can act as dispatcher for them. So, all right, I'm gonna cut this short. Catch you later. Bye.